The director's reckoning. Who protects the protector when the law turns against her? Eleanor Vance, a black woman who had risen higher than most ever dared, carried a weight few could imagine. As the newly appointed director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, she was both a symbol of progress and a target for those who despised it. She knew laws like others knew prayers, word for word, bone deep, unshakable. But knowing the law would not protect her tonight. The highway stretched endlessly before her, a ribbon of silver under the moonlight. Her black sedan hummed softly, her hands steady on the wheel. It had been a brutal day of classified briefings in Washington, and all she wanted was the quiet of her suburban home. She wasn't speeding. She wasn't swerving. Yet the flare of red and blue lights pierced her rearview mirror like a warning from the dark itself. Her pulse tightened, not with guilt, but with caution. She slowed, signaled, and pulled over with the precision of someone who had lived inside the rules her whole career. The cruiser lingered before stopping. Too long. She adjusted her mirror, catching sight of the officer stepping out. He moved with a swagger she recognized instantly. Power-hungry, unchecked, the kind who carried his badge like a crown. When he reached her window, his flashlight stabbed her eyes. "License and registration," he barked. No greeting, no explanation. Eleonora kept her voice calm, professional. "May I ask why I'm being stopped, officer?" He chewed his gum, jaw tight. "License. Registration." Her instincts pricked. She moved slowly, announcing each action. Reaching for my bag, she handed over her license with her FBI credentials. His eyes flicked over the ID. Unreadable. "FBI," he muttered, almost mocking. "Yes," she replied evenly. "Step out of the vehicle." The command cracked like a whip. Eleonora blinked. "On what grounds?" He leaned closer, his right hand brushing the grip of his gun. "I don't have to explain myself to you." That was when she saw it clearly. This was no traffic stop. This was about dominance. Eleonora tightened her grip on the wheel. "Actually, officer, you do." The nameplate caught her eye. M. Thorne. She etched it into memory. His knuckles whitened on her door handle, trying to wrench it open. She blocked it with her hand. "Back away," she ordered, her voice sharp. Instead, he slammed his palm on the roof, the metallic bang echoing across the empty highway. "I said get out." Her training told her to stay calm. But the rage in his eyes was the kind that looked for excuses, the kind that swallowed accountability whole. He wanted her to slip, to give him permission to escalate. Before she could decide her move, another cruiser rolled up. Relief flickered for a moment, until she saw the second officer's expression. No curiosity, no neutrality, just quiet solidarity with Thorne. "Problem here?" the second officer asked. Thorne smirked. "Uncooperative driver." "Ma'am," the second officer said coldly, "step out of the car." Not Director Vance, not even Ms. Vance. Just ma'am. Her authority was being erased in real time. She inhaled slowly, controlled. With deliberate care, she opened the door and stepped out. The night air felt sharp against her skin. Vulnerability pressed in. Thorne loomed closer, angling himself to block the dashcam's view. The second officer flanked him. Eleonora stood straight, refusing to bow under their intimidation. "You haven't told me why I'm being detained," she said. "Suspicious behavior," Thorne sneered. "What behavior?" He smirked wider, refusing to cooperate. It was a trap, she knew. Refuse, and they'd escalate. Comply, and she'd lose control. Either way, they had already written the script. A black woman resisting arrest. Then Thorne grabbed her wrist hard. Pain shot up her arm. She recoiled instinctively. "Get your hands off me," she snapped, her voice slicing through the night. The second officer stepped closer. "We got a problem here." "I think she's resisting," Thorne announced, his grip tightening. The words were poison, crafted for the record, to justify what came next. The second officer reached for his radio. "We have an uncooperative suspect." Suspect. Not director. Not FBI. Just another black body they could pin down. And then came the flash of steel. Thorne's gun was out, its barrel of black tunnel pointed straight at her face. The silence was suffocating. Eleonora's hands went up, her breath steady though every nerve screamed to fight back. She had faced cartel bosses, domestic terrorists, men who killed without blinking. Yet this moment felt far more dangerous, because here she was not the director of the FBI, just a black woman standing on a dark road, her life dangling at the whim of a man with a badge. Thorne's voice dripped with venom. You feel powerful now. For the first time, Eleonora felt rage course through her like fire. Rage not only for herself, but for the names etched in case files and headlines, the ones who never got to speak again. This was bigger than her. This was every injustice she had sworn to fight against. But before she could speak, before she could act, the second officer's radio crackled with a voice that changed everything. Dispatch to Unit 47. Status check. Director Vance is en route from D.C. Confirm her safety. The air shifted instantly. Thorne froze. The second officer's eyes widened. Their entire plan, whatever it was, teetered on the edge of collapse. Eleonora met Thorne's gaze, her voice like steel. Now what, officer? The night held its breath, waiting to see who would break first. She opened her mouth, choosing her next words carefully, because they might be her last. But before she could speak, a voice cut through the night. Hey, I'm recording this. The shout split the tension like glass shattering. Thorne didn't lower his gun, but his posture shifted. A man stood on the highway's edge, phone raised, its glow reflecting off his glasses. Every detail was being captured. Are you sure you want to do this, officer? The man called. For the first time, doubt flickered in Thorne's eyes. His partner hesitated too, caught between authority and panic. They had thrived in silence, but silence was gone. Eleonora pressed. Put the gun down. Thorne's breathing grew shallow. His finger twitched on the grip, calculating escape. Then the second officer's radio crackled. Unit 47. Status. Sirens followed, faint but growing louder. Reinforcements, but not the kind they wanted. Thorne's hand dropped slightly. Get him to stop recording, he ordered, nodding toward the witness. The partner moved forward. Eleonora's voice cut like steel. Touch him, and you'll be charged with obstruction of justice. That froze him. The balance was shifting. Sirens screamed closer, red and blue lights slashing across the asphalt. Multiple patrol cars skidded to a halt, officers spilling out, uncertain of the scene. Then a voice rang out. Director Vance. Recognition rippled through the ranks. The lieutenant who'd spoken looked from Thorne's drawn weapon to Eleonora's steady stance. Authority was no longer theirs. Eleonora seized the moment. Lieutenant, arrest these officers. Now, the second officer stammered. Wait, no. Not another word, she snapped. The witness has it all on record. Thorne clenched his jaw, fury twisting his face, but slowly holstered his weapon. His arrogance had drained, replaced by panic. This is a misunderstanding, he muttered, though even he knew it sounded hollow. Then let's clear it up at headquarters, Eleonora replied coldly. Call internal affairs. Call the district attorney. This isn't going away. Cuff them both, the lieutenant ordered. Thorne erupted. You gotta be kidding me. Eleonora didn't blink. You pointed a gun at the director of the FBI. Unless you'd like resisting arrest added, keep talking. The cuffs clicked shut. Thorne seethed, disbelief carved into his face. His partner sagged, pale and silent, as if realizing he'd bet on the wrong side. Eleonora exhaled slowly, anger buried beneath discipline. This wasn't just about two corrupt cops. It was about a system that let them thrive. The witness lowered his phone, eyes steady. You okay? Thanks to you, she said softly. Then, quieter, they do this often, don't they? Just not to someone like me. He nodded grimly. Yeah, they do. That truth cut deeper than the gun ever had. She had power to fight back. Others didn't. The lieutenant approached cautiously. Director, do you want to press charges? No, Eleonora answered. I want a federal investigation, top to bottom. His footage goes directly to my office. We're not leaving this to internal affairs. The Bureau will handle it. Thorne and his partner were led to patrol cars, shackled by consequences long overdue. For once, justice hadn't been delayed, it had arrived.